Toma Mallet is from Oklahoma. Several years ago, he moved to Republic of Georgia with his family, where now he is teaching English language. Georgia is the place where he found his American dream. He's married and has 3 children.
I found my slice. It's very quiet here. And sometimes when we get to thinking about political stuff and what's going on in Israel and Hamas, and it's very nice to be able to say, you know, I can leave all this and just decide if I should get a goat or not. Or 2 goats. Because I have a lot of land that I need them to clean, you know.
Toma Mallet is a linguist by profession. He moved to Kutaisi, Republic of Georgia, with his family, where he now teaches the English language. Toma's wife, Carrie, is a great cook, and she presented us with special Georgian dishes and salads made just for us. Everything was delicious.
We have 3 children, and and I'm a linguist by training and by trade. And I've known, and I've always thought it was really, really incredibly important for someone to have a second language.
From Oklahoma to Georgia, how did you come up with Georgia? How did you make this decision to move to this country?
And we knew some Georgians in Oklahoma City who, once we sat down with them and we were talking with them, they were like, "Oh no, it's really it's lovely. The food's good. The wine is great. The people are wonderful." Yeah. They have lived in Oklahoma since Gamsa Khurdia's time.
Wow.
So they were there a long time, but they come back in the summers, and they suggested that this would be a good place. So we tried it, but that was in 2010. And I knew I didn't want to go to Tbilisi because I don't like big cities anyways. So we came here. I worked at a school.
Toma's main job is teaching the Georgian English teachers how to teach English to students in the most effective way.
What I do is I go into schools and I work with their teachers to look at their lesson plans and try to meet the needs of all the students, and we do workshops. The way it worked was we would do a workshop once a month on a given methodology topic, and frequently also a civics topic. That was how the program was set up. And then I would go to the schools in the month after and visit all these schools and see how the lesson went, and then I would sit with the teachers afterwards and talk with them. What worked, what didn't work, what would you change, why would you change it, and it's been actually quite effective. I've really liked what I've been doing with it, and it's taken me all over Georgia.
While observing Georgian classroom lessons, Toma detected that the education system in Georgia still contained elements of Marxist indoctrination, such as memorization and repetition like a parrot. Toma's intention is to teach methods which nurture creativity and individualism and make students think for themselves and have their own opinions.
So what I do here is, for the last 5 years that I've been here, rather than teach English directly to students, I teach teachers how to teach language. Because since Georgia was in the Soviet Union so long, what you get is Marxist philosophy in every facet of life, including education. And since Marxism views the human as nothing more than an animal, they taught their educational philosophy was essentially behaviorist. And that means that you just repeat things like a parrot. And that's where a lot of Georgians that are old enough will remember that you just sat at your desk with your arms crossed on your desk, and teacher would say something and you repeat it. And you do this over and over and over again. Because Marxism doesn't want you to think about it. They just want you to produce this result. It's actually true that some people do actually learn that way, just repeating after things. But that's just a small percentage of the kids in the classroom. I also did some classes for English language test preparation, TOEFL exams and IELTS exams, the British Council exams. So I was there quite a bit, and I worked with 6th grade all the way up till college-age kids and past who wanted to get higher qualifications in English.
Great. This area really needs English teachers because especially in regions is a very big problem to know English, and that's really big opportunity for them that you hear and you're giving these lessons.
I love it. I love what I do.
Kutaisi is one of the oldest cities in the world and the third most populous city in Georgia. This is the place where Jason and Argonauts considered as their final destination. It was where King Aides and his daughter Medea resided.
They say, from what I understand, the hill over here. So this is Bagrati Cathedral.
That's Bagrati.
And you're looking at the altar wall, the eastern wall. So we're looking to the west. And before it, there's an escarpment there. That's the castle. And that hill has been inhabited since, I think they said Stone Age.
Yeah.
That's almost 10,000 years there have been humans on that hill. And here we're still here.
Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, Gelati is a medieval monastery complex located on a wooded hillside near Kutaisi in the Imereti region of western Georgia. It was founded in 1106 by King David the Builder as a monastic and educational center. It is a great example of Golden Age architecture, and it is one of Georgia's most important churches. Gelati was the Christian cultural and learning hub during Georgia's Renaissance period. Medieval chronicles described its academy as the Second Jerusalem and the New Athens, where philosophy, theology, astronomy, and the arts and sciences were studied, and where important chronicles and translations were written.
Yeah, I love this place. I have a house that's my own, a car that's paid off, neighbors that are really, the neighborhood is really wonderful, and the neighbors are really fantastic people. And they care about us, and we care about them, and we can walk to church. It's right up the road. And the view is fantastic. So yeah, I love this place very much.
Great.
Almost 40 kilos. No, not even that much. More like 30. This year, I'm really expecting maybe twice or 3 times as much. And I need to spray again because this is.
And do you spray with organic
Yeah,
spray?
this is copper sulfite, and you can eat it. It doesn't hurt it. It's called Bordeaux treatment, and it's good for grapes and for kiwis and for peaches and everything. And it keeps down funguses and some pests.
Well, let's talk about your winemaking skills. So I heard you making the Emiratian wines here. Do you you have your own vineyards?
I do. I don't have a lot. And I'm by no means, I would never call myself like a vintner or a winemaker. But over my shoulder, I can show you in a bit. I do have a pretty good sized vine, and it's a white grape called Solikauri. I need some zip ties. Carrie, I suppose you can bring me some zip ties.
Toma makes his own wine. He has his own vineyard on his property where he grows local Georgian grapes. He's very proud of the fruits of his labor. We had pleasant time tasting his wines. I always wanted to know how properly can taste wine.
I always wanted to too.
There is a stages to taste wine actually, and it's very important to know every stage. For example, there is a 4 stage. First is the attack, when you first try, when you first taste. Second is a evolution, like a third one is a aftertaste, what it leaves you with, and the fourth one is a finish. So how it.
Well, I will be very interested
stage.
because I don't know anything about that. I know that I like this wine and that one I don't.
Well, first try, first nose. So usually brings up the fruitiness first time. So let's do the first nose. Love it.
Good.
I see that it's dry, but some sweet.
But it's not dry.
But
like
it's not dry.
And it's not sweet, so I don't.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's not heavy like a Quevri wine is, and it's nice, like very makes you having a good time. You know?
Yeah,
very light. And,
I think it's nice for sitting and sipping on.
Right. And second nose is when you start to turn the wine into glass like that, and that called the second nose. That already brings the intensity already.
Okay.
And more fruitiness and spiciness. And let's see now on the second nose. It's like opening up the wine on the second try. Nice, love it.
I do keep it in glass.
Right. And you know, color gives you good information about wine. For example, about its origin or about its vintage.
Well, and here, so I have a very good friend whose wine is his business, or his brother's business anyways, and they know their wines very well. Ramaz Nikoladze, and he has a vineyard just outside of town here in the village Nakshirgale, and his wines are really, really good. And he's won awards for his wines in France even. And he knows all about it. He can tell you this, that, and the other in the way, and he makes them in churi. And so a churi is a big clay pot buried in the ground.
Quevri is a clay vessel used for making and storing wines in the ground according to the traditional Georgian winemaking method. In western Georgia, they are called juri. Quevri winemaking is practiced throughout Georgia, particularly in village communities where unique varieties of grapes are grown. Where do you keep? It's very important to have a right temperature.
In the dark, and it's got to be nice temperature. So I do have a Marani room here that is pretty constant temperature, winter or fall, or spring or summer.
And because when it's too cold, the wine, it loses the acidity. When it's too warm, loses the alcohol. So that's why it's very important to be in a cellar. So.
And I keep it in the dark as well. So I keep it behind, because we have to walk through that room every day, so the lights are on. So we've covered it so that it stays dark underneath. But
let's salute.
Thank
you.
I had to cut here because it went too far this way. But you see, I've got actually quite a few. I'm gonna have to pull this one off because it's not gonna go anywhere and it's gonna grab my power line and then it'll pull on it. But I want to direct it that way and out. And So far everything's healthy. And the blue stuff here.
And what brand is this?
This is Toli Kauri. This is the white that we were sampling earlier. And I need to spray again. I don't know. You know what? Well, I do need to do this actually. These will grow if you don't take care of them every year. I actually need to cut this one back. This is hazelnuts. And I need to pull these big ones and let some of these little ones grow, but if I don't do this, I will be doing this all over the fall.
Don't go in front of the compost and the chicken thing. Don't do that.
Well, okay, I can check up here. Cut that.
Did you make wines in America too, or you?
Oh no, you can't
just...
make wine in Oklahoma. I take that back. You can, but there are only certain grapes that will live in that environment. Oklahoma is very hot and very dry. Because Oklahoma can get 42, 45 degrees.
Wow.
For long periods of time, for like 2 or 3 months, it can be that hot. And so like Toli Kauri wouldn't survive, it would kill it. Same with the Ojaleshi.
Yeah.
They need this, like it's hot here, but not like that, and it's wet here. It's,
Here.
Yeah, it's really wet here in Kutaisi.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have done what Americans, I think, want to do with their lives and settle and build and see it grow. And I feel like we've been able to do that here. I don't feel like I could have done it there. We were just kind of behind the 8 ball financially, and the way that nobody buys a house in cash in the United States. You buy with credit from the bank, and with my student loans, which I'm still paying on, and just our income ratio to what we were paying out for rent and food, and a lot of Georgians don't understand how expensive life can be in the States, and I put it to them this way. That's why in America the poor people are overweight, is because the cheap food is garbage food. The good food that you can grow, like this is the stuff that costs money, and you can't afford it to eat healthy. It can be really expensive.
Do you miss America?
There are some things that I miss about it. We were watching a TV show the other day, and we both agreed that there's the American diner.
Diner, you
Yeah.
miss.
That would be nice. But I don't know most of it. I don't really miss too much.
Do
I
you
don't.
think ever move back again?
I don't make any plans. I think that everything can change in 1 minute for any given person, and so I don't.
Toma had us taste Armenian sujuk, which is a dry sausage made with beef, garlic, and a mix of aromatic spices. This is one of the culinary gems of Armenia.
I don't think Georgians make sujuk,
No,
do
that's
they?
Armenian,
The Armenians
actually.
do, and the Turks do. And I first had some in. Would you like some?
Yes.
I first had it in Bulgaria, and it seemed to me that it was a Turkish name, but theirs they make in a horseshoe shape, and the Armenians apparently make it in a line.
This is a dry beef.
It depends on who makes it. In Bulgaria, they had lamb as well.
Lamb
so it would be
too?
lamb and beef,
Very aromatic.
and the ones that I love the best, you have to run it underwater to get the gut casing off, because it's a real sausage, and they stuff it in the gut casing, and it's good.
Do you cook?
I like to cook. I'm not wonderful at it, but I enjoy doing it, and I really like to grill things. So I went and I bought an iron grill, and I'm still trying to get the timing right, because you have to start a real fire, and it's not. In the United States, you have a gas grill, or you can buy those bricks that light themselves, and then it just is ready to go. And that's not the case. I have to light a fire and get actual charcoal
Georgian way.
and wait for it to go down,
True.
and then it's ready and get it sorted. But
Nice. Toma is a talented singer. In his leisure time, he often sings Georgian chant in his church with his friends. So I know you're singing. Please tell us a little bit about that.
okay, so I have always loved singing and music in general, and 10 years ago I first met a fella named Levan Gersamia, and when we came back I ran into him on the street, and he's a folklorist, basically. Any folk instrument that exists in Georgia he can play, and he's very good at it. And so he said, yeah, why don't you come and visit with us and sing with us? And apparently he liked the timbre of my voice, and I've had a lot of fun with the guys. I've been singing with them almost 2 years now, I think it is. If one of us has a birthday, then we are the choir for his birthday party. And they've been here and sung songs, and on Easter. So at Christmas, you know, there's a Christmas carol that the children go around and sing at people's house called Alilo. And there also exists one for Easter. It's called Chona. And it's kind of it's a tradition that the Soviets worked very hard to get rid of. And we went, but it still lived in the villages. And so on Pascha, we went to villages not far from here in Imereti, and we would just go to their gates and sing the song.
Wow.
And one man came out.
That's
he
on
was
the Easter, right? Jonah.
on Easter
And
morning.
collecting those red eggs.
And yeah, they give you the red eggs, or they give you
Candies or
cake or
anything.
candies, or they brought out wine. And by the end of it, they were all preparing for their Easter feast. So that family just made us come in and sit down at their table. This is an interesting fact. In Oklahoma, there were no Orthodox monasteries at all. And then just last year, the Georgian Bishop of North America is Meupesaba. And he shows up in Oklahoma, and they opened like a monastery,
Wow.
a Georgian monastery in Oklahoma. I was very amused by this, but I'm gonna have to do it like this. I think spiritually it's good for people to be closer to land and to be, closer to the natural cycle of things and to be walking distance to your church, but that's just something I found important, and I don't know if it translates even within English. But for me, this is the spot. This is where I'm trying to make it work.
I have met Americans who live and work in Georgia, and they do their best to impart their knowledge and American standards to people who are in need. These are missionaries who are trying to make this world a more successful and better place. But living overseas away from their families and friends can be a difficult undertaking. What makes them endure in a foreign land? Just one thing which unites them all is an abiding faith and their love of Jesus Christ.